I am the Whistler, and I know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. Yes, I know the nameless terrors of which they dare not speak. A few moments before, the music had seemed pure magic to Carl. Now it was discordant, meaningless, only heightening his despondency. And the thing that had worked the change, that had transformed magic into misery, was the thing Amy had said, tossed across the table to him as casually as it had been a comment on the weather.
So I'm sorry, Carl. I don't love you. I never did.
Amy, what do you mean?
Oh, really, darling. It isn't anything to look so serious about.
But Amy...
Please, Carl. Don't spoil the music. Besides, aren't you being a little naive?
Oh, I love you. Is that being naive? Is that being stupid?
Well, it doesn't make very good sense. Anyway, Arnold's coming home tomorrow, and that's that.
What?
He wired from San Francisco this morning.
Aren't you just a little worried about him?
Why?
Oh. I see. Funny. Arnold has everything that the world has to offer. Money, success, and you.
Thank you.
It seems strange. Such a brilliant man could be so blind, both at once.
You sound as though you delight in telling him that.
I'm afraid I couldn't afford to.
Naturally. I think Arnold might resent it a little if he knew his chauffeur were romantically interested in his wife.
And that puts me in my place quite nicely.
It was meant to. Now, suppose you run out and get the car. I want to talk to the piano player for a moment.
It's all clearly defined now, isn't it, Carl? And you're back in your place. You were too eager, anxious, too blinded to see that Amy was only playing a game, amusing herself at your expense. But it's all over now, isn't it? And everything is just as it was when you first came to the house a year ago, and her husband Arnold had hired you. That at least remains clear in your mind, doesn't it? Very clear.
Carl, I think you'll work out just fine. I've thought for some time we should have a chauffeur. I understand you're a master mechanic and an excellent driver.
That's right, Mr. Pearson.
Of course, I'm hiring you principally because of Mrs. Pearson.
Oh?
Yes, she's a very impetuous woman. Inclined to be reckless. She's had 2 accidents now, rather narrow escapes. I'll feel much safer if she has a chauffeur.
Well, of course.
I may as well tell you this now, Carl. You'll find it out for yourself sooner or later anyway. Mrs. Pearson becomes upset very easily. Emotionally rather unstable. When she's troubled, she has a strange habit of taking the car out and driving like the wind.
Well, I'm afraid I don't understand, sir.
Well, neither do I, frankly. Somehow it seems to cool her down and quiet her nerves. I hope that with you here, she'll find some less dangerous antidote for these, explosions of hers.
I'll drive Mrs. Pearson wherever and whenever she wants.
Good. Then it's settled.
The job is yours. Thank you, sir.
As far as I'm concerned, a prison record means absolutely nothing. If a man is willing to profit by his mistakes, and you'll have every chance to make good.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Carl, you're back in your place. Right where you were the day Arnold Pearson hired you, fresh out of state prison. A whole year gone by. You've always resented Arnold, haven't you? Because he's so sure of himself. Because he has everything, and you have nothing.
You sent for me, sir?
Yes. Sit down, Carl.
Oh, that's all right, sir.
I don't quite know how to begin. Something rather unpleasant has been called to my attention. You've been with us more than a year now, Carl. I've come to trust you implicitly.
Thank you, sir.
I know you must feel that I haven't paid much attention to you, but, well, I've been very busy and...
I understand.
Of course you do. It might please you to know that I've advised my lawyers about you. You'll never want for anything, even if something should happen to me.
Well, thank you, sir. I had no idea that...
I'm happy to do it, Carl. All I ask in return is your confidence. It's about Mrs. Pearson.
Mrs. Pearson?
Now, please don't misunderstand me, Carl. I'm not the sort of a man who goes spying on his wife.
Oh, I don't think that, sir.
Of course not. However, the fact of the matter is, a chap from the firm spoke to me about Amy this afternoon. He implied that she'd been seen on a number of occasions in the company of another man.
Oh, well, that's probably just idle gossip. Well, I don't think that Mrs. Pearson would... I don't
Carl,
think
I
that...
thought you might know something about this.
No, sir, I don't. And after all, I've been here all the time. I should know.
I hope it is just gossip. Sort of upset me, that's all. Coming home to a lot of ugly rumors about my wife and some musician.
Musician?
I believe he's working at a place called the Cameo Room.
The information that Arnold Pearson has conveyed hits you like an electric shock, doesn't it, Carl? Makes you realize how Amy has used you. Explains with a very different reason all those evenings she had you spend with her at the Cameo Room. You're certain now that the reason was Terry Larkin, the piano player.
Hello, Amy.
Oh, Carl. What's the matter, darling? You have that serious look again.
I have a good reason. So have you.
What's on your mind?
You? Look, Amy, I don't know what you're doing, what you've done. I only know how I feel about you.
Please, Carl, we've been all through that.
Now listen to me. Let me talk. I've got to tell you this. I love you. I have no right. It should be the other way around. I should hate everything about you, but that isn't the way it is. Amy, no matter what's gone before, please don't do this to me.
Carl, you can be so gentle. No one would think so, but you can. You're interesting, Carl. Like a book. Only I think people in real life are much more interesting than those in books. Don't you?
Interesting. Interesting is just a word. Love is an emotion.
I'm not in the mood, Carl. Besides, my actions are no longer your concern. I thought we settled all that.
It isn't settled. It isn't settled at all.
Why don't you face it? If you're going to be difficult, why, we'll simply have to dismiss you.
Listen to me. I just had a talk with your husband. It's Seems there's some ugly rumors floating about.
About us?
No, not about us.
I don't understand.
Those baby blue eyes. Those big, beautiful, innocent baby blue eyes. And a heart like a stone.
Just a minute.
Tell me, who's it going to be after Terry Larkin?
Carl.
Seems to be a hobby of yours. Making a fool out of every guy you meet. Well, I ought to do Larkin a favor. I ought to go tell him right now. Tip him off. That he's due for the high dive in the next couple of weeks.
You're not going anywhere. You're involved every bit as much as I am, Carl. I can talk, too. And if it came right down to it, maybe I'd sound a lot more convincing to Arnold. And to the parole board.
Well, what about Terry Larkin?
I'll see anybody I want, anytime I want.
You know where that'll get you.
I'll decide that. And now, if you don't mind, I'm going out for a drive.
Wait a minute. You know what Arnold said?
Skip it. When I want a chauffeur, I'll ring for one.
The break between you and Amy is out in the open now, isn't it? And in the week that follows, she makes that quite plain to you. Seems to enjoy every moment of it. There's a blind, consuming rage building within you, isn't there? One which you find becoming more and more difficult to control. As far as Amy is concerned, you've simply ceased to exist. Except to drive her to secret appointments with Terry Larkin. And it happens often, doesn't it? And all the while you're at her beck and call to take her wherever she wants to go and to say nothing. But you can't help overhearing, can you? Listening to the same soft words, exciting, so full of promise. The same words she used to say to you and didn't mean. When she lies to Arnold about where she's been, you find yourself hating him, too. Because even with everything he has, he's a fool, just as you have been. She's done that to both of you, hasn't she? It's on your mind all the time, isn't it? Gnawing away at you, shaping thoughts in your brain. Thoughts that lead you to the conclusion that you're going to kill her.
Yeah. Don't think you'll have any squeaks on over now. Now, let's see. Did I check that mileage?
Yes, you put the sticker on the inside of the door frame.
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, you'd better keep an eye on that speedometer. According to our records, you ran over a little bit this time.
You mean you keep an exact mileage record?
Oh, sure. Comes in handy sometimes.
Yes, it certainly must.
It happens suddenly, doesn't it? A chance remark by the garage mechanic. Keep your eye on the speedometer, he said. It stirs something within you, doesn't it? A bare flicker of thought, and it grows, fanned by the hatred you feel. It begins to emerge as a plan.
I'll, keep an eye on the speedometer.
It's exactly 5 miles from the garage to the house. As the little figures on the speedometer drop into place, the separate parts of your plan start falling into place in your mind, don't they? You've made up your mind, haven't you? Know exactly what you must do. And you're certain you'll get away with it.
Are you positive, Carl? Absolutely certain.
Yes, sir, I am. I'm terribly sorry, sir. I wouldn't have mentioned it, except you seemed so upset when you heard about it before.
I know. It's all right, Carl. Simply doing your duty. Where is Mrs. Pearson now?
She's downstairs. Do you want me to tell her that you want to see
No, never mind. I'll have Martha call in a moment.
But Martha's taking the afternoon off.
Oh, yes, of course. Would you tell Mrs. Pearson?
Yes, sir.
And Carl.
Yes, sir.
Thanks very much. You've been most loyal.
Your plan goes into motion immediately, doesn't it? Just as swiftly as you had intended it should. And now, in fury, he's turned on Amy. And true to form, she's lashing back.
What if I did? It's nothing to you. You've always been so wrapped up in your career, it's a wonder you even noticed.
My career has nothing to do with it.
Well, I don't care anymore. Do you understand that? I simply don't care. If you think for 1 minute that you can control my movements night and day, like you do the puppets that run your business, you've got another thing coming, Arnold Pearson. I'm getting out of here, and you may never see me again.
It's going well, isn't it? And you're pleased. Not worried at all about what Amy might say about you, because Arnold wouldn't believe her, would he? It's what Amy does that concerns you now. All that matters is that she behaves as you expect her to. Follows her usual habits.
Hey! Amy, come back here! You, Carl.
Yes, sir.
She left in the car, didn't she? I was hoping you wouldn't let her do that.
Mrs. Pearson does very much as she pleases.
Now, wait a minute, Carl.
Not only with you, Arnold, but with me, too.
That's quite enough, Carl. You'll do well to drop the matter right here. Forget all about it. I'll attend to my affairs on my own.
Going to do. Don't you know, Arnold? Haven't you any idea at all?
It's the timing now that you're concerned with. And it's very important, isn't it? Yes. Your entire plan depends on the way things fall into place on schedule. If Martha arrives home from the movie before 8, everything is ruined.
Why doesn't she find him?
It's all you can do to keep from going in there, isn't it? To see what's happening. And the fear that something's gone wrong begins to take hold of you. And then...
Carl! Carl!
Wait a minute.
Carl, it's terrible.
What's the matter?
I just can't believe it. Oh, that awful, awful woman. Mr. Pearson's dead.
What?
She killed him. I know this would happen sooner or later. I always knew there was some doubt about her first husband's death. I tell you, she's a killer.
Well, where is he?
In his study, On the floor. She's in her room. I don't think she heard me. She's packing.
We've got to call the police. Operator, I want the police.
It's a stroke of luck, isn't it? Much better that Martha discovered Arnold.
Hello, police? I'm calling from the Arnold Pearson home. I want to report a murder.
It's terrible. Poor Mr. Pearson.
It's hard to believe she could do it.
That's what I've been thinking. That's a pretty powerful blow for a woman.
She could do it, Lieutenant. She could do anything when she's crazy mad that way.
So, after it's over, she bustles about her room, taking her time while her husband's dead here in the study. Does that seem right to you, Carl?
Well, it does seem odd, Lieutenant, but
That's putting it mildly. Let's go see her. Oh, wait a minute. Well, that changes things. She made a break for it after all. You've been a little foolish, don't you think, Miss Pearson?
I have a right to do as I please in my own house.
That's an interesting attitude for the moment.
I think you might explain what this is all about. Why there are police officers all over the place.
I was just about to ask you to do a little explaining.
I haven't a thing to say.
I see. Martha, you told me you were out of the house at the movie all afternoon.
That's right. I just got off the bus a half an hour ago and walked up to the house. Then I ran out to Carl's rooms over the garage.
All right. And you, Carl?
it's like I told you. I'd had the car lubricated, drove home, arrived just before Martha.
Then you were out with the car practically all afternoon.
That's right.
What did you say, Carl?
I said I'd been out with the car all afternoon. I drove straight home.
Nothing wrong with that, is there, Mrs. Pearson?
Why, I don't know what to say.
If there's any question, Lieutenant, you can check the mileage on the speedometer. Compare it with the service tag in the door frame.
That's an idea. Now, Mrs. Pearson?
Why, yes. Yes, of course. Carl's telling the truth. He was out in the car. I've been here all afternoon.
Well, Mrs. Pearson, I hardly expected it to be this simple. You realize, of course, you're under arrest for suspicion of murder.
Murder? What are you talking about?
Your husband. He's right where you left him, Mrs. Pearson.
Why, I don't know anything about it.
By your own admission, you and he were alone here at the time of the killing. Now, that's good enough for me, and I think it'll be good enough for a jury.
It's strange, fantastic, isn't it, Carl? Hard to believe that Amy would talk herself into your trap so easily. Yes, she's walked right into it, and the case against her seems airtight. But as you try to relax...
Oh, hello, Lieutenant.
Carl?
Where is she?
Down at headquarters.
Oh,
Carl, I suppose you realize that we know about your record.
well, of course. But what's that got to do with this?
I got a telephone call a few minutes ago that knocked me off my pins. Carl, are you sure you were in that car this afternoon? That you drove straight home?
Why, of course. You can check the speedometer.
We checked that, too. We went over the whole car, as a matter of fact.
The whole car.
So you drove straight home, past the corner of 89th and Fowler. That's the usual route, isn't it?
That's right.
The license plate's checked, too. There's just one thing the witness wasn't sure of. He thought there was a woman driving.
Well, if you think Mrs. Pearson was in that car this afternoon, you're wrong. Just because somebody thinks
All
they
right,
saw her.
Carl. That's all I wanted to know. What made you think you could get away with it? It's pretty serious stuff, you know. And I think with that record of yours, they're likely to send you up for the rest of your life.
Well, what are you talking about?
Manslaughter and hit and run. That man you ran down at 89th and Fowler this afternoon, he died 2 hours ago.